Welcome back to The Explainer. I'm honestly so thrilled you're here today because we're looking at something absolutely groundbreaking. The term AGI, or artificial general intelligence, well, it gets thrown around a lot these days, right? But are we actually close, or are we just, riding the hype train? Today we're unpacking a massive, brand new March 2026 living survey paper that finally gives us a real reality check. It's titled The Arc of Progress Towards AGI, and guys, it's pretty much the definitive map to understanding the true state of AI right now. So let's jump right in.
So are we actually getting closer to AGI? It's the million-dollar question. Are these current AI models genuinely capable of human-like reasoning, or are we just experiencing this incredibly sophisticated illusion of intelligence? When a model spits out a brilliant essay or writes some complex code, is it actually thinking, or is it literally just the world's most advanced parrot? To answer this, researchers know they can't just ask the AI standard benchmark questions anymore. They have to put it through a totally different kind of gauntlet.
To measure that true adaptability, researchers use ARC-AGI. That stands for the Abstraction and Reasoning Corpus. And this specific benchmark is designed to test what's called fluid intelligence. Now notice how this fundamentally shifts our whole understanding of intelligence. It's not about what you've memorized from reading a million textbooks. No, it's your ability to reason, adapt, and solve entirely novel, completely unexpected problems right on the fly. This is the absolute gold standard for measuring if a machine can actually reason like a human rather than just regurgitating its training data.
Now, to figure out exactly where we stand, researchers Vahadi, Ione, Suresh, and Lehman put together this exhaustive living survey. And they didn't just test one or two of the big famous models. Oh no, they analyzed 82 distinct AI approaches across 3 increasingly difficult versions of the ARC benchmark. So this paper gives us a highly detailed snapshot of the field as of early 2026. It's a massive undertaking, and honestly, it provides this clear, undeniable picture of what actually works, what definitely doesn't, and where the major bottlenecks still are.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, measuring fluid intelligence. Second, the great performance drop. Then, cost, scale, and efficiency. Fourth, how to actually win. And finally, the future of AGI.
Right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Measuring Fluid Intelligence, the ultimate test of reasoning.
The researchers cast a really wide net here. They analyzed performance across 3 major AI paradigms. First up, we've got program synthesis, where the AI essentially tries to write a computer program to solve the puzzle. Second are the neuro-symbolic approaches, which, try to combine the raw pattern-matching power of neural nets with strict logic-based symbolic rules. And third, pure neural approaches, basically the massive deep learning models we're all super familiar with today. By looking across all these paradigms, the researchers basically ensured that if there was some secret sauce to true reasoning hiding somewhere, they were going to find it.
Moving on to Section 2, the Great Performance Drop, Expectation versus Reality.
And wow, this right here is the central, most dramatic finding of the entire survey. Just look at this drop-off. On ARC-AGI version 1, highly advanced systems like Opus 4.6 hit an incredibly impressive 93% accuracy. Looking at that, it seems like AGI is literally right around the corner, right? But look what happens when the benchmark gets even slightly more complex. On version 2, peak accuracy falls to 68.8%, and then on version 3, it absolutely craters to a dismal 13%. 13! Across every single paradigm, neural, symbolic, you name it, we see this steep 2 to 3 times drop in performance the exact moment the test demands deeper compositional generalization. Now, compare that to us. You see that massive degradation in AI performance? But then on the human side? Near perfect accuracy across all 3 versions of the ARC benchmark. This difficulty curve that completely shatters a state-of-the-art AI model barely even registers as a speed bump for the human brain. This stark contrast tells us something really fundamental. Humans possess actual fluid intelligence. The AI models, on the other hand, are hitting a severe structural brick wall the second they encounter truly novel problems.
That brings us to Section 3, Cost, Scale, and Efficiency. Does bigger actually mean smarter?
Okay, this number is just staggering. 390 times. In just one single year, the cost of running these reasoning tasks plummeted. The survey notes the cost fell from a massive $4,500 per task using the O3 model all the way down to just $12 per task with GPT 5.2. So why did this happen? Well, it largely reflects a massive reduction in test time parallelism. Put simply, earlier models basically had to brute force the problem. They were guessing thousands of times in parallel, hoping to just stumble upon the right answer. These newer systems are getting way more efficient at the process, dramatically driving down the cost from an eye-watering $4,500 down to, the price of a sandwich.
But here's where the narrative really twists. You've got these massive, trillion-parameter models built by major tech giants, right? Their scores vary wildly, and they require absolutely immense compute. Yet, right alongside them, you have entries from Kaggle competitions that are super tightly constrained, models with only 660 million to 8 billion parameters. And guess what? These small, highly constrained models achieve remarkably competitive results against those trillion-scale BMOS. It's crazy. It completely shatters this long-held idea that simply adding more parameters automatically equals better reasoning.
To really make sense of this, the researchers anchor their findings to a core thesis by AI researcher François Chollet, and actually he's the guy who created the ARC benchmark in the first place. He states, intelligence is skill acquisition efficiency. True intelligence isn't about having a database of 1 trillion memorized facts. It's about how quickly, how efficiently a system can learn an entirely new skill using very minimal data. The fact that a clever 8 billion parameter model can step into the ring and fight in the exact same weight class as a trillion parameter giant, that proves Chollet's point beautifully.
Okay, Section 4. How to actually win. The missing pieces of the puzzle.
So the survey maps out exactly what actually moves the needle right now. The critical success factors are test time adaptation and refinement loops. Essentially, the AI models that do the best are the ones that can pause, generate a hypothesis, test it out, realize they made a mistake, and then refine their answer before outputting it. But make sure you notice the unsolved problems still sitting there in the bottleneck. AI fundamentally struggles with compositional reasoning, which is combining different, distinct concepts into a single logical thought, and interactive learning. Until these pieces are solved, the AI is essentially just making really highly educated guesses.
And if you want hard proof of just how difficult those unsolved problems are, take a look at this number, 24%. To achieve a mere 24% accuracy on the ARC-AGI 2 benchmark, the winners of the ARC Prize 2025 competition had to pump hundreds of thousands of synthetic examples into their models. Just really think about that for a second. They needed absolute mountains of generated training data just to get a failing grade of 24% on the Level 2 test. It's a stunning realization of how deeply inefficient current AI architectures are when it comes to true learning.
Finally, Section 5. The future of AGI. Breaking free from the knowledge bound. All right, here is the core definitive takeaway from this massive 2026 Living Survey. Current AI reasoning remains fundamentally knowledge-bound. What we perceive as machine intelligence today is heavily reliant on encountering massive amounts of data during training, including those hundreds of thousands of synthetic examples we just talked about. It is pattern matching at a godlike scale, absolutely, but it is not true fluid intelligence. The AI cannot efficiently adapt to novel situations the way, say, a human child can. In many ways, it's basically faking reasoning by relying on its incredibly vast memory. Which leaves us with this final, fairly provocative thought to end on. If all of our current systems, from the trillion-parameter giants to the most clever neuro-symbolic hybrids out there, are still hitting a massive brick wall when faced with truly novel problems, we have to ask ourselves, is true artificial general intelligence completely impossible until we fundamentally redesign AI to break free from simply regurgitating synthetic examples? The data really suggests that scaling up our current methods just isn't going to cut it anymore. We are going to need a brand new paradigm for machine reasoning. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep seeking the facts, and I'll catch you next time.